Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Question of the Day. What may one cook on Yom Tov? We all know the halacha is that bishul is allowed on Yom Tov, even though, of course, Ramah also on Yom Tov, like Shabbat, there are certain exceptions, carrying and bishul being two of them. Well, what does that mean? Can one cook anything he wants as long as he's going to use it on that day? What about a food that he could have cooked before Yom Tov? Then what is the halacha? So regarding machshir ochel nefesh, we paskin that something that could have done before Yom Tov, he should not do it on Yom Tov. Fixing the spit to barbecue on it, to start cutting it up to size, that should be done before Yom Tov. Tvila, toveling the kli, that's a machshir ochel nefesh, that should be done before Yom Tov, and that should not be left for Yom Tov. What about the cooking itself? So Shulchan Aruch seems to say that you could cook anything and you don't have to take into account, it would have been just as good if I did it yesterday. He seems to matter the cooking process. The Ramah says yesh machmirin, and he says that one who has a food that could easily be prepared for Yom Tov and will have the exact same taste on Yom Tov as if he cooked it on Yom Tov, then he should not cook it on Yom Tov. So what are the ramifications of this halacha? It's a very important question. I don't know how often people think about what they're cooking on Yom Tov and could it be done before or not. So if, let's say, a compote cooking fruits and then letting it sit in the juices, it would actually be much better if it was cooked before Yom Tov. And it's worse if one cooks it fresh. So let's say that's the case, then one should not cook it on Yom Tov. It's really halacha l'maisa, it's true. What about foods that really you could cook before Yom Tov, but something about the freshness of it? It's just better for most foods when it's fresh, hot, and just baked for the first time. It's really better. So then it's pashut mutter, because here we don't say no. Just be a spiritual person, and since you could have eaten it if you would have cooked it before and you just heat it up, it's edible. No, we don't say that. Simchas Yom Tov allows you to enjoy your food. It's a mitzvah to enjoy your food, and if it's nice and fresh, and that's how you like it, it's not the same when you reheat it. It ain't a hanami. The Be'er Moshe does discuss this very question. And he says, now that we have a refrigerator, what do we say? The fridge could keep the food going for a few days, and a freezer could keep it for months and years. So Be'er Moshe says, still, even with a fridge, it's true that it could keep it fine, but usually we assume it's not the same when it's baked old and reheated as opposed to when it's baked fresh. An interesting shot we cover them up is, let's say, because of the fridge and freezer, it really is identical. Then Enochanami would be an interesting shell that we won't have to discuss with a posek. But the general rule that we're trying to clarify is that machshir ochel nefesh, like preparing the kli, before that has to be done beforehand. Ochel nefesh yourself, if it is the exact same taste that you be preparing beforehand and preparing on Yom Tov, then the halacha is, according to Ramah, one must prepare it beforehand. Usually we assume that when you make a fresh item, cookies and the like, there's something unique about that fresh taste, and therefore you'd be allowed to cook it or bake it on Yom Tov. Shalom.